Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today as we take another deep dive. We like to get right to it.
Absolutely no time to waste.
So today we're looking at Psalm 108 from the New Living Translation.
Okay.
And we're going to see what this psalm has to tell us about, well, a lot of things, actually.
It's a pretty rich text, even though it's pretty short.
Right. A lot packed in there. And it's attributed to King David. So we're talking about, pretty early, pretty foundational stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get right into it. The first thing that strikes me with this psalm is how confident it starts out right from the very first verse.
Oh, yeah, definitely. My heart is confident in you. Oh, God, no wonder I can sing your praises with all my heart. There's no hesitation there.
Talk about starting strong,
That's
right?
a declaration.
It really is. And it's interesting because it's not just like a private, feeling. It immediately goes into this idea of public praise.
Right, in verses 2 and 3, you have this imagery of waking up the instruments like the lyre and harp, greeting the dawn with song.
So it's not just personal. It's like, hey, everyone, look at this greatness.
Exactly. It's meant to be shared, and not just with like a small group either. It talks about praising God among all the people and among the nations.
Wow, that's pretty huge, right? This is someone who wants everyone to know how awesome they believe God is.
And it's interesting because then it kind of zooms out, right? Verses 4 and 5 really emphasize the scale of God's love and faithfulness.
Right. It says they reach higher than the heavens and spread wider than the clouds.
Exactly. So you have this sense of vastness.
Yeah.
The idea that God's attributes are just incredibly immense.
Which makes that desire to share the praise even more understandable.
Totally.
But then, okay, so we have this, really powerful opening full of confidence and praise. But then in verse 6, it kind of shifts gears.
How so?
Well, it says, now rescue your beloved people, answer, and save us by your power.
Oh, I see what you mean. There's this sudden plea for help.
Well, right. And it seems to come out of nowhere. Why would someone who's just been praising God's power and greatness then immediately ask for rescue?
That's a good question. It kind of highlights the fact that even when you have strong faith in God, you can still experience moments of vulnerability and need.
Right. Like maybe it's acknowledging that sometimes we need help even when we believe in something bigger than ourselves.
It's a human element that I think a lot of people can relate to.
Absolutely. And then after that plea for help, the psalm takes another turn in verses 7 through 9.
Okay, where does it go from there?
Well, it sounds almost like God's response, like a promise or a declaration being made.
You mean the part where it talks about dividing up the land?
Exactly. It mentions Shechem, Succoth, Gilead, Manasseh, all these specific territory.
Right, and there's this really vivid imagery, too. Ephraim being compared to a helmet like a symbol of warriors, and Judah being compared to a scepter representing kingship.
I love that imagery. It's so powerful. And then you have that contrast with Moab being called a wash basin and the idea of wiping your feet on Edom.
Oof, yeah, not very flattering imagery there.
It definitely paints a picture of triumph and subjugation, like God is saying, hey, I'm in control here, and my people will be victorious.
And then it goes on to mention Philistia as well.
Right, almost like a warning to anyone who might oppose God's chosen people.
Interesting how it moves from confidence to vulnerability then to a sense of divine authority.
Definitely. But then, okay, buckle up, because it changes again in verses 10 and 11.
Wait, really? What happens there?
Well, it gets kind of, almost doubtful. It asks, who will bring me into the fortified city? Who will bring me victory over Edom?
Oh, wow. So after all that talk of promised victory, there's still this uncertainty.
Yeah, and then it gets even more direct. It says, have you rejected us? O God, will you no longer march with our armies?
It's like all that confidence from the beginning is wavering a bit.
It is, right? And I think that's what makes this psalm so powerful. It's not just blind faith. It acknowledges those moments of doubt and fear that we all experience.
It's a much more relatable picture of faith than just pure unwavering confidence.
Exactly. And I think that's why the final verses are so important. Well, in verses 12 and 13, the psalmist goes back to asking for help against enemies. But this time, there's a new element of understanding.
What do you mean?
It says, for all human help is useless. Like, recognizing that sometimes we can't do it on our own.
And then it ends with that powerful statement, with God's help we will do mighty things, for he will trample down our foes.
Right. It's like coming full circle back to that trust in God, but now it's informed by that experience of doubt and vulnerability.
It makes that final declaration even stronger.
I think so too. It shows that even when we have doubts, we can still choose to put our faith in something bigger than ourselves.
So Psalm 108, it's really a roller coaster of emotions and ideas.
It is right from confidence to doubt to a promise of victory and ultimately a reaffirmation of faith in God.
And I think that journey is something we all go through in our own lives.
Absolutely. So for everyone listening, think about that. How do you deal with those moments when your confidence wavers? What helps you reaffirm your faith or your belief in something bigger than yourself?
It's something to ponder for sure.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See ya.